I feel like I'm so close to getting this epitaph shit figured out. I feel like I'm on the right track. I feel, well, magic-wise, maybe. Knock, 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 knock. Oh, there it is. The sudden sound of someone banging fiercely on the door brought Natsuki to her senses. She had probably nodded off in the study while planning how they would overcome the next day. But what could it be? At a time like this. What time is it? Is it night? Is it midnight? More importantly, the knock itself was strange. If someone had wanted to contact her, they could have just used the internal phone line. She had told them that she would be here. Realizing that something strange was going on, yeah, maybe it's one of the family. Natsuki shook her head one more time, completely throwing off her drowsiness. I fucking knew it. It had to be someone. It was Ava's voice. She's planning something, man. She's trying to be funny. What is this? I thought I told him to lock the door and windows to the mansion tightly after everyone left for the guest house. She probably did something. Broke a window, I don't know. So why is Ava here? Came through like a back door? The one in the kitchen? Natsuki ran up to the door, responded with a small knock, and spoke through the door in a quiet voice. It's starting, bitch.
静かになさいと申し上げています。当主様が何よりも沈黙と静寂を好まれることをお忘れですから。今はそんなこと言ってる場合じゃないのよ。ご託はいいから、とっととここを開けなさい。お父様を出して。当主様は先ほどお休みになられたばかりです。何の用か存じませんが、明日私が伺います。あんたなんかに用はないわよ。いいからさっさとここを開けなさい。
Boy, there she is, bitch. Have to endure that go through the mud. Sometimes, all one's schemes and assumptions can fall apart due to the most direct, simple, and emotional of strategies. This is bad. If I open the door, Ava will probably throw herself forward and rush into the study. Now, I can't even open this door. At that moment, the phone suddenly rang. It's alright. Both of the keys to the study are here. No one can open this door. Natsuki inched away from the door and grabbed the receiver. Is it gonna be Rudolph? I swear if it's Rudolph. If it's Rudolph or fucking Rosen. It's Kraus. Okay. It was from Kraus. His tone was strange. What in the world happened? That's right. Dude, that is gonna throw a wrench in their plans because Natsuki just admitted to Ava that Ginzo just went to sleep, even though Battler just found the gold and saw Ginzo. So she kind of fucked her up a little bit. Fucked herself up. Wow, is it really gonna do that? Dude. Dude, imagine. Oh, how is everyone doing? It's gonna be chaos, bitch. If everyone fucking looks at that gold, everyone will. Dude, Dude, holy shit. Dude, it would be in. Oh, I want to see that. I have to see that. Right after that, Kraus came up the staircase, accompanied by Genji. A heated debate started between him and Ava. Open up, no, calm down. In the middle of that, there was a small knock as a signal. Kraus had skillfully pushed Ava away from the door and distracted her. During that gap, Natsuki slipped out of the study and quickly shut the door. Ava noticed this, and her face twisted in disappointment. But the heavy sound of the auto lock had already rung out, and the door had been sealed.
碑文の黄金が見つかったのよ。お父様にご報告するのが筋でしょうが。それとも何？お父様にはそれを伝えられない都合でもあるの？
親父殿からは床についたら何があっても起こすなと厳命されていてね。それを守るのは当主代行の務めだ。そうだろう、源氏さん。はい、親方様のお休み。何があるとも逃がすことは許されません。
Look at that.
それも時と場合によるでしょうが。だって碑文が解けたのよ。お父様には真っ先に知る権利があるわ。もちろん明日当主様には全てを私たちから報告します。それが当主代行である私たちの役目ですから。そんなの知らないわよ。いいからこの扉を開けなさいよ。お父様に会わせなさい。お父様、お父様、聞こえていますか？エヴァです。ここを開けてください。話してよ。
Oh, he's grabbing her?
痛い。
私たちが話を聞くと言っている。やかましく扉を叩くな。
He's getting pissed.
痛。
Oh shit.
話してよ。話しなさいよ。
クラウス様、エヴァ様。
He's being very physical.
親方様がお休み中と申し上げております。これ以上はお控えください。
Or else Genji will take care of you. When Genji spoke firmly, the two finally ceased their scuffle. It seemed that Genji, the one who had spoken for Ginzo since they were young, still possessed an air of dignity strong enough to handle both Kraus and Ava. Ava put her argument aside for the time being. She could worry about that after seeing the gold with her own eyes. After all, not even she had yet seen it for herself. Natsuki and the others had managed to deal with this crisis somehow. However, the demon's move, which would sneer upon their efforts, was already in motion. Damn, bitch, motion.
バトラが碑文の謎を解いたというのか。
What is she gonna say now? What's gonna happen?
エリカなる娘にだいぶ助けられたとはいえ、たどり着いたのはバトラーだった。
So it was my boy Battler who ultimately reached the fucking conclusion?
黄金鏡の権利を放棄すると宣言している。よってバトラが黄金鏡にたどり着きし者だ。
I mean, it's not as sweet because he had a lot of help from Erica.
運命とは実に面白いものです。バトラ様がたどり着くとは。
I mean, I expected this. I mean, this is my boy
どう
Battler.
するのです、ベアト。碑文の謎を解く者が現れたなら、儀式は取りやめる約束ですよ。
What is she gonna do? She's gonna stop the motherfucking, the ritual. That's it. Plain and simple, bitch.
そういう取り決めであったな。
Yeah, you gotta fucking follow through on your
そう
word.
いう取り決めだ。
Yeah.
バトラ様はどうやら黄金鏡の主となられるおつもりがないようだ。我らの主となる者はもはや現れぬようですな。
それもまた運命です。ゴールドスミス教とのご縁で人間の世界に顕現して数十年。とても楽しい時間でしたよ。やだ、リア。ババ臭い。で、どうするわけ？リーチェとゴールドスミスのルールなら、バトラが碑文を解き、主となることを選ばない以上、私たちはこれでお役御免じゃないの？
そうであるな。私に未練は何もない。いつでも呼吸とすへ蹴落とされる覚悟はできておるぞ。
待て、そうはいかぬ。そなたの心残りはないかもしれぬが、わらわはまだ夏日に仕えておるぞ。バトラが碑文を解いたからお役御免では、あまりに義理を書くというもの。魔女は契約違反を許さぬが、不義理もまた許されぬ。
でしょうな。親族会議を終えるまでは
きっちりとお使いするべきでしょう。
となるとゴールドスミス教ももうしばらくはお役御免とはなりませんね。
Okay, so nothing changed at all?
無事に親族会議を乗り越え、せめて夏日様にお別れの挨拶と、もしできるならこれまでの努力をねぎらわれるべきかと。
Reward her how?
あれもよく具足を支えてきたものよ。
貴様など片刃をもがれた打天使ではないか。揃わぬ翼なら置き土産に捨てていけ。
うん、それもよかろう。
Wait a minute, that's a little interesting because they have a one-winged eagle.
夏日ならば我が翼を背負うにふさわしいかもしれぬ。しかしここからが正念場となるぞ。褒美は用意した。無事にこの試練を乗り越えてみよう、夏日。
I'm happy I'm experiencing this fucking story. It's just dawning on me already. Okay, is that everyone going into... Dude, I swear, if we hear everyone freaking the fuck out. Yo, this motherfucking song is the fucking shit. Oh my, this is like one of the best songs I've ever heard. I love this shit. The mountain of gold left everyone speechless. I have people asleep again, but I'll fucking scream if I need to. Regardless of how strongly they had believed in its existence, no one could look at this much real gold and not be shocked. I want to see what my boy Rudolph, Shannon, no wait, Shannon already knows about that. So, are witches real? Does that mean everyone believes in that now? Everyone was stunned by the gold, speechless, at a breathless standstill. The first one to break the silence and jump around in ecstasy was Hideyoshi, okay. Letting out an excited laugh, he clung to the wall of gold, and he felt the cold, hard touch of it all over his cheek. That is incredible, bitch. Yes, I wanted to see Rudolph. I wondered what he was. I want to know what he's gonna say. What about Kirie? Exactly. Ava and Rose started walking towards each other at the same time and hugged each other as they broke down crying. I did not expect to read that right now. Ecstasy and shock, wonder and sighs. After stepping forward in front of the pile of gold that caused these mixed emotions, Erica spoke as though she were an announcer in some show.
この世が金なら、この黄金は幸せの結晶です。おめでとうございます。皆さん、この発見が皆さんの人生をより豊かなものにすることを心よりお祈りいたしております。
How lucky are they for a complete stranger to wash up on an island in the middle of a fucking typhoon to take care of all their worries.
脱帽だわ。この島に来て丸一日さえ過ごしてないあなたが気分を解いてしまう。
Really?
一日で解けないなら何
It's
日を
almost like it was
解けようとも
fate.
解けません。灰色の脳細胞はひらめきを与えるのに瞬きする以上の時間を必要としません。
What does she mean by little gray cells? I'm curious about that.
私一人ではこの謎を解くことはできませんでした。バトラさんの功績もどうか称えてあげてください。皆さん。
Oh fuck, I skipped the last fucking... I didn't let her finish.
私はこの発見を放棄します。推理が正しかったことが証明されただけでもう満足していますので、黄金発見の功績のすべてをバトラさんに譲りたいと思います。
What is he
私は
gonna
ここ
say?
におりますが、以後はないものとしてどうぞお話をお続けください。バトラさんはいとこの皆さんに気づかれるように 大人の皆さんだけを呼び出しました。
Oh, what? They don't know? Oh, that's a little
それ
mean.
が意味するところはただ一つ。皆さんに本当の親族会議を開いていただきたいと思います。
Wow, bitch, what a thing to say. The true family conference?
エリカ、
Wow, that's oh.
勝手に仕切るんじゃねえ。
これは失礼しました。それでは議事の進行役を譲ります。では誰に？
Shrugging. Ow, Erica looked around at everyone. After a short period of silence, Ava made the first move.
昼間の取り決め、全員忘れてないでしょうね。
ああ、4人で25億ずつを山分けだ。
There we go, bitch.
次期当主にはさらに100億。
Yup, Rudolph, look at him. He's so fucking happy because he knows what's gonna happen right now.
お待ちなさい。黄金の発見が次期当主を決めるなどと誰が決めたのですか？
Father, bitch. It's in the
そうはいか
epitaph.
んで、夏日さん。
Oh, look, they're all getting on her. Oh, no.
ずっとそれを前提に話を進めてきたはずやで。今さらそれは白々しいとちゃうんか？
そうだ
Wow.
わ。使用人の誰かが碑文を解いてしまって次期当主を名乗るかもしれないって怯えてたのは夏日姉さんじゃない。
どこにもそうだという明記はない。
Well, that's true.
使う。
Oh, shit. She's not gonna let this fucking...
そういう認識だったでしょうが。
Oh, she's not gonna let this fucking opportunity slip through her fingers. None of them are.
そうだぜ兄貴。今さら手のひらを返そうってのか？
明文化されてなくてもそれは間違いなく私たちの共通認識だったはず。話にもならないとおっしゃるのはどうなのかしら。
I just came up with a scary thought. Is the first epitaph gonna happen right now? Cause what if they get all fucking charged up? Like, this is crazy, bitch. Like, all you, like, 10, 20 billion? What if they get so charged up they just start killing each other over it?
当主様の碑文を勝手に解釈されるのは困ります。黄金を見つけたらそのものが次期当主になるとどこに記されているというのです。当主様の碑文は当主様が決めたもの。皆さんに決めつける権利などありません。
夏日、落ち着きなさい。
これが落ち着けるというのですか？確かに碑文を解いた功績は素晴らしいと思います。バトラ君にも何かの見返りがあっても良いとは思います。しかしそれが半分というのは明らかに逸脱していますしそれ以上に発見者だから次期当主という論法はなおまかり通りません。
卑怯だわ夏日姉さん。今日の昼間にしてた話と全然違う。
同感だぜ。明文化されてなくても碑文を解いたやつが次期当主になるってのは俺たちの不分律で最前提だったはずだ。
Yeah, it was like an open secret. Like, everyone just thought about it in the back of their minds and they kind of agreed with it. But then when that shit gets real, motherfuckers start trying to claim otherwise.
それをこの土壇場でごちゃごちゃ言い出すのはフェアじゃねえぜ。ああ、フェアじゃねえ。
Yes, it is not fair.
この黄金はお父様の黄金です。お父様の許可なく勝手に分配を決めていいものではありません。
Oh, there it is, bitch. That's the fatal move. That's twisting the knife in your own stomach because what did Ava just try to do?
そらない。そら卑怯やで、夏日さん。わしらその話を延々と昼間にしたんやで。昼間の話を全部チャラや言うんか？そらあんまりやで。
Oh, look at that. Go to the
決めれば
background.
いいのよ。黄金を発見したバトラ君が次期当主。私も夫も異議はないわ。ルドルフたちは
Okay. Rudolph. Oh, they absolutely have no contradiction. No fucking what's the word? Objections.
異議なんかねえぜ。バトラー、よくやった。
Of course he's gonna have no objections, bitch.
バトラ君は碑文に選ばれた正当な後継ぎよ。不満ならお父様に直接聞けばいいんだわ。
そうね。夏日姉さんの言った通り碑文の謎を出題したのはお父様。そしてこの黄金の本来の持ち主もお父様よ。だったらお父様に話を聞くべきじゃないのかしら。 バトラ君という発見者はどう扱われるのか。それについて決めていいのはお父様だけのはずだ。それは
だから落ち着けと言ったのだ。
Dude, they get impressed. They get pressed. Oh shit, they can't keep this up. I don't think they can keep this up for going into
お
tomorrow.
父様に聞きましょうよ。お父様に。
It all comes out right fucking
も
now.
はやね、兄さんたちの出番じゃないのよ。
Unless Battler opens up and says, "Yo, I saw grandfather and he just walked into the woods." Unless he says that right now, it's game over for these two.
せやせや、お父さんを連れてこんかい。あんたらじゃ話にならへん。ほんまの親族会議を始めがないか。眠いから明日にしろっちゅう問題に見えまっか。これ舐めとったらえらい問題になります。
Yeah, this is it, bitch. This is it.
聞いとるんかい。
It's all over right
お
now.
前らじゃ話にならん言うとるんや。たったとお父さん連れてこんかい。
Oh shit, look at Hideyoshi bossing him around. Yeah, it's it, dude. Like everyone.
いつもこういうのなんですか？
No, everyone. Look at that shit, dude. This is it. This is it. This should change things for them as well, Kraus and Natsuki. This is it.
腹の中ではいつもこうなのでしょうね。どうもこの場は金蔵さんじゃないと収められなくなるみたい。子供の喧嘩に余命あとわずかと宣告されてる今になってもまだ呼び出されるなんて。
Well, they just need clarification on a couple
どう
things.
いう気持ちかしらね、金蔵さん。
I think he's elated. I mean, he seemed pretty happy when he saw
それ
Battler.
を想像。いいえ、推理するのもおつなものです。
The parents ignored Battler and Erica and kept yelling at each other on and on. Yes, yeah. Even though Battler had more or less imagined that this sort of thing happened behind the scenes, this was the first time he had seen it. Is he uncomfortable by the situation? He had suspected it since 6 years ago. Is this his sin? And he'd be able to get a pretty good idea of what this was like by the darkening expression on his parents' faces when this time of year drew near. However, this argument his relatives were having before his very eyes was much more ugly than he had imagined. He was very glad that he'd called the adults out here without letting the cousins catch wind of anything. Yes, he is suffering the brunt of the ugliness, not them. Is that what he's thinking of? Perhaps because everyone was tired out from this seemingly endless argument, they took a short break. It was decided that this family conference inside the Golden Land should be moved over to the mansion. So this is the Golden Land. I mean, that's a little, I guess you could say it is the Golden Land because we are in a little area filled with gold. I thought it was going to be much more mystical. Like where we saw a bit like those golden roses. This place may have been gorgeous, like the VIP room. But there was no ventilation and it was a little cold. Isn't that gonna fuck up the gold? It wasn't well suited for a long conversation. What about these? All this cloth? The bedding? Is that gonna get fucked? They thought of the possibility that someone might carry the gold away while their backs were turned. Bitch, how heavy that shit is? Maybe they'll get like a couple ingots away, but like, so what? But it wasn't as if anyone could manage much with just human hands in a small amount of time when they had 10 tons of gold to deal with. In fact, it even seemed as though having this mountain of gold in the background was robbing them of the ability to make sound decisions. So they agreed to return to the mansion, in part so that they could regain their composure and continue the conference more ruthlessly. It's raining, bitch. It's raining. You see, I'm telling you, we're near Ecuadorian. Wait a minute. Am I supposed to take that seriously? Because it was just a couple screens away from the mansion. We're already here. Just 2 screens later. So we're close. Or maybe, again, I'm picking at everything, dude. They want us to seem that it's close. A little close. It has to be between here. What if it's between here and Kuadorian? These are the two places. Well then, I will. Okay, never mind. I'm not supposed to read it.
お邪魔でしょうから。
あ、悪いな。
気を使わせちまった
あなたへのお礼は明日改めてさせてちょうだいね。
Yes. I imagine you motherfuckers going, bitch.
あなたは辞退すると言ったけど、私たちはあなたへの感謝の気持ちを込めて第一発見者の一人にふさ
No,
わ
we
しい
could throw a couple
分け前を
ingots her
用意
way.
させていただく。ねえ、兄さん。
君ほどの人が我々の事情は察してくれると思う。
20 billion yen in gold wasn't something they wanted out in the open. They didn't want an outsider like Erica telling people about it. Well, even if she did tell them, it's still your property, so I don't think it matters too much. Of course, Erica had already deduced that much. She wore an unpleasant smile on her face, as though she understood it all too well. All too
私
well.
のことはお気になされなくて結構です。もちろん口外する気はありません。したところで証拠を示せる限り誰も信じないでしょうし、
Right.
今夜は良いものを見せてもらいました。眼福でしたので私はこれでもう十分です。
Okay.
そうね。10トンの黄金なんてなかなか見られるものじゃないもんね。
Getting to see the gold was the feast for the eyes? Of course not. From Erica's dark nature, it was easy to guess what she was so happy about seeing. I thought about telling her to get the hell out of here already, but I wanted out myself. I tried to head back to the guest house along with Erica, but they stopped him. However, Kirie grabbed my shoulder. Get the fuck over here, battler. Yeah, you're not escaping,
あ
motherfucker.
なたも一緒に来てちょうだい。
せやせや、君は今や立派な次期当主なんやね。お父さんにお目通りして早くそれを認めてもらわんとな。
That's right.
それを決めていいのは当主様だけです。
We're still arguing about that? I mean, it's pretty set in stone what everyone, what, it's pretty set in stone what everyone feels in their heart right now.
面倒だろうが、もうしばらく付き合ってもらうぞ。お前は何も言うな。
Alright, old bastard.
黙ってうつむいてるよ。分かった。
Say it.
好きにしろ。
Oh, never mind. It would have been easy to say that I had no interest in being successor to the head. But I was sure that they would only add more oil to the fire. That would only add. Even if I hadn't been ordered to keep quiet, I was certainly that. I was certainly that. Staying shut up like a calm was the wise. Wait, what did I'm going. I'm getting really stupid. I was certain that staying shut up like this, staying shut up like a clam, was the wisest thing to do. I completely misread the fuck out of that. In that case, would it really be so bad if they just let me go back to the guest house? Dad put his arm firmly around my shoulder and I told him to quit crowding me. But it didn't make any difference. Battler, this is this is bigger than you or them, bitch. You gotta pay attention. You gotta understand the situation we're in.
気分解けたな。お前のお望み通りに。お前がゲームマスターの時にはいつも手紙が来るもんな。碑文を解いてみろ。解けなきゃ皆殺しだ。みたいな。
Yes, episode 1. I remember that very clearly. Why did she want to make us solve the riddle of the epitaph? Is it to... Because once you solve the riddle, she kind of like has her job taken away from her. Like she gets relieved of her duties, right? Maybe that's what she wants. I don't know. By solving it, we found a mountain of gold. Yippee for us. And what about Beato? Does she gain anything by having us find the gold? Maybe it's like an extra condition for her loss. Something she knows is incredibly tough. But that'll like excite her, like, oh, there's this shit. They're so close. Oh, they're not getting there. Or does she lose something?
チェスパン思考にのっとる限り、人は自らが損になる一手は打たない。
I remember Beato saying something in episode 3, I think it was, where if someone is so close to winning, they will make moves that don't really benefit them that much in an attempt to show off, right? To flex at their opponent because they know they're gonna win. They can act stupid if they want. Maybe that's why the epitaph exists.
だからお前は、俺たちが碑文を解くことで何か得をするはずなんだ。
I would hope so.
いいえ
Well, I don't know.
碑文を誰かが解くことでこの子が何かを得ることはありません。
So am I right? Is it just for the thrill of having it there?
いいのか？こいつに断らずに、勝手に赤き真実を使っちまっても。
この子もそれを望むでしょうから。
Virgilia, who had suddenly appeared there, gave me an immediate answer to my question with the red truth.
俺は過去に、ベアトが碑文を俺たちに解かせようとするのは、黄金の隠し場所を見つけさせて横取りするためだと推理したことがある。それも違うのか？
I don't think she would have a need for gold. She's a witch.
もともと黄金鏡の黄金はこの子のもの。見つけさせる必要も横取りする必要も何もありません。
Yes. Of course. Beato is Beatrice the Golden. She's the master of the Golden Land and the Ushiromiya family alchemist. That makes total sense. However, if that's true, that makes me even more confused. Even if someone exposes the answer to the epitaph's riddle, Beato gains nothing. No, to the contrary, she might get her own gold stolen away.
なら、ますますにわからない。
She's given us maybe this is our only winning condition.
碑文殺人はわかる。後ろ宮家に対する復讐とか、あるいは魔女としての力を復活させるための儀式とか、こいつなりの理由や目的があってやってるんだろうからな。だが、碑文の謎を解けというのにはどんな意味があるんだ？俺たちが解いても解かなくても、こいつに得るものは何もない。つまり、ベアトにとって碑文の謎が解ける解けないという問題は無価値なものなんだ。
そうですね。碑文の謎が解けても解けなくても、この子にとって得るものは何もありません。
解けても解けなくても何の意味もない。それはつまり碑文の謎自体がベアトにとって無価値だということになるんじゃないのか。
そうですね。碑文の謎はこの子にとって何の意味もない。ならばそれを無価値であると極論しても言い返せないかもしれませんね。
Beato, why are you making us solve the riddle of the epitaph? If we liken the witch you are to a pair of scales, the epitaph murders lie on one plate, and the riddle of the epitaph lies on the other plate. Because she's saying that she'll stop the epitaph murders if the epitaph is solved. In other words, the epitaph murders and the epitaph's riddle are worth the same to Beato, like two sides on a balanced scale. That means that the epitaph's riddle and massacring the entire family have equal significance from Beato's point of view. But Virgilia responded with the red text. If she has nothing to gain, then this epitaph's riddle is meaningless and immaterial to Beato. In that case, how much are the epitaph murders, which lie on the other side of the scale and are equal to the epitaph's riddle in value, worth to her? Think, don't stop thinking. The epitaph murders and solving the riddle of the epitaph have equal worth. As long as the epitaph murders, which are Beato's goal each time, have this single way that they can be stopped, a way that she decided on herself, both are worth the same thing to her. Okay? X equals Y, and whether the epitaph's riddle is solved or not, Beato gains nothing. Y equals 0. So in that case, what is X?
おいおい。それじゃ、非分殺人もまた、無意味、無価値ってことになっちまうぞ。
Yeah, I thought about that. I mean, if we restart every single... I mean, she said it's just a game to her, obviously. She said that before.
こいつは、ご丁寧に予告状を出し、非分に沿うように順番にバレないように次々殺していくという、めちゃくちゃ面倒な手間を払ってまで。毎度あのおかしな連続殺人を起こしてるんだぜ。その意味が、なくなっちまうじゃねえか。
I flipped over the chessboard many times, exploring Beato's moves. This was always the first place I stumbled. The significance of the epitaph murders. Why did she have to commit serial murders in a way that reproduced the witch's epitaph? If she wanted to kill the whole Ushiromiya family for revenge, it would be much simpler, safer, and more reliable if she just put poison into their dinner. Or else, went around killing people one by one in the middle of the night while they were sleeping. However, on the first evening, Beato sends us a letter that sounds like an advance notice, and then carries out what could be broadly described as a 3-part serial murder, killing 6 people on the first twilight, 2 on the second, and 5 on the fourth and later. We aren't fools. Once the first murders occur, we barricade ourselves somewhere to stave off any further murders. Furthermore, we quickly suspect a culprit among us and start analyzing each other's alibis. As the victims increase, the number of suspects decreases automatically. Beato's chances of completing the serial murder drop closer and closer to 0. Everything about the epitaph murders is full of useless ornament and empty decoration. That only seems to make it harder for her to carry out the serial murder.
こいつは自分で自分の目的の難易度を上げている。
Okay, that's a bit of an odd thing.
そうなりますね。おかしな子ですね。
知ってるか？ミステリー小説ではこういう非分殺人のことを見立て殺人。この見立て殺人が行われる理由を俺は3つに大別できると思ってる。
伺いましょう。
一つは非分に沿うことで証拠やアリバイをごまかし犯人に利するためだ。死んだふりをして自らを犠牲者に混ぜる古典もこれだし、非分に沿わずに殺人を犯し、その発生順序を誤解させることによってアリバイを作るのもこれだ。
なるほど。非分に沿って儀式的に殺していると見せかけて、実は自分に利するように誘導しているわけですね。面白いと思います。
That's odd.
俺たちのゲームでは死者が赤でとどめを刺されちまう。ゲーム版の世界ではごまかせても、ここから俯瞰する俺たちはごまかせない。だからこの最も王道となる目的は違うってことになる。
となると、見立て殺人を行うあと2つの理由は？
一つは偶然。意図せずして行った連続殺人がたまたま非分をなぞる形になり、目撃者たちが勝手に見立て殺人だと誤解するケース。人間はどのような事象にも因果性を求めてしまう。
Yes, we do that all the time. We are hardwired to find patterns.
きっとそうに違いないと思ったら、そう見えてしまう生き物だ。
なるほど。それも面白いですね。ですがどうでしょう。この子のゲームでは第一の番の殺人以前に常に事件が予告されている。そして明白に非分殺人を遂行していることを示す手紙や状況証拠が次々に見つかるはずです。
そう。偶然なんかじゃない。ベアトは初めから非分殺人を見せつける目的で遂行している。俺たちが誤解してるんじゃない。これは明白な見立て殺人なんだ。だからこの理由でもない。
となると最後の一つの理由になりますね。
最後の一つは見せつけること。つまり恐怖だ。非分に沿うということは殺人が連続するという明白な予告だ。生存者たちは続くに違いない殺人にずっと怯えさせられることになる。
What's up with that face?
つまりこの子は死の恐怖を味わわせるために非分殺人を。
と思うと割と収まりがいい。グロい遺体損壊も悪趣味な装飾も全て俺たちを怖がらせるための演出。
誰を怖がらせるためなのですか？
だからそれは俺たちが。
After hearing that one line Virgilia spoke so casually, my thoughts clouded over once again. Is it really enough to just use the vague word us? There are a lot of people in the Ushiromiya family. There's the head and the one who holds the rank of his successor, grandfather and Uncle Kraus, our parents who have some pull in the business world. On the other side, you have the young cousins who usually visit at most once a year, and the unfortunate servants who just happen to be on duty. Even if the culprit hated all of us, they probably didn't hate all of us equally. In other words, they might have made it clear which of those among us they particularly wanted to take revenge against and terrify. If we liken this to a kid eating dessert, isn't the strawberry on top of a shortcake the part you should eat last? No one tells you that you shouldn't eat it first, but our mentality leads us into saving it for later.
じゃあ最も恨んでいる人物を最後まで残したがるってことになるよな。
And who is always alive at the end?
ああ、俺の好きな小説の好きなキャラが言ってたぜ。そいつの親しいものから先に殺していって悲しみを味わわせてから最後に本人を。
Wow, bitch. Okay, playing with the food.
一番恐ろしい殺し方なんだ。
おやおや、恐ろしい小説もあったものですね。桑原桑原。
じゃあ最後まで生き残るやつが最もベアトに恨まれてるって論法になるぜ。しかし毎回殺される人間も順序もめちゃくちゃじゃねえか。
For the most part.
最終的には死ぬにせよ、最後の晩まで毎回生き残るやつなんて。
It finally hit him. There's only me.
先に赤で申し上げておきましょう。バトラ君は犯人ではありませんよ。バトラ君は誰も殺してはいません。これは全てのゲームにおいて言えることです。
ならなおのこと、俺ってことになる。こいつが非分殺人を起こす唯一の理由は俺に見せつけるためってことになる。
What, you mean they're a clue for something? Beto's always making out that she chooses who to kill next by roulette. But I'm an exception, the only exception. Though she does kill me in the end, she always leaves me be until the very last moment. Does this have to do with his sin again? I keep thinking about that shit. In all of these supposedly random games, there's only this one unchanging constant.
こいつは俺に復讐を
Yeah, against that. Yeah, because of that fucking whatever that sin is.
恐怖を味わわせるために非分殺人を行っているというの
I
か
gotta think about this. What could it be? I keep thinking. I don't know what it could be. I have no idea.
恐怖を味わわせるのが目的ではありません。誰かに復讐するためのものでもありません。
Oh, never mind.
なら
Okay.
やはり非分殺人には意味なんてないことになる。非分の謎も無意味、対となる非分殺人も無意味。X イコール Y イコール0。
Wow. Look at my boy speaking
その
English.
無意味をこいつは明白に俺に対して見せつけている。無意味なことと同価値の何を俺に求めているんだ。
Well, maybe it's meaningless to.
わからねえ。考えれば考えるほどにこいつが何を考えてるのか俺にはわからねえ。
Hold on, I want to look at something really quickly. She said her goal is not to make someone experience fear, and it isn't to have revenge on someone. Okay. Revenge. Not revenge, and not to show fear. It's to show us something? They want to show us something, Beatrice. The fickle witch, who committed a meaningless, worthless serial murder. Even the riddle of the epitaph, which she made into a condition to suspend the serial murders, is meaningless, immaterial. And she's thrusting this meaningless, immaterial thing in front of my face. What is it that you want from me? Or else, what is it that you want to give me? My idea that Beato must have been taking revenge on me has already been refuted and read by Virgilia. Both X and Y, both the epitaph murders and the epitaph riddle, mean nothing to Beato. X equals Y equals 0. However, since she's thrusting that in front of me, it must have some meaning. She presents us a pair of scales representing, if you don't solve the epitaph, I'll carry out the epitaph murders. Neither the epitaph murders nor the epitaph riddle have any significance by themselves. However, it becomes meaningful when she puts both halves on the scale and thrusts it out before us. No, before me. So it only has meaning together? In other words, it should be like this. X equals 0, Y equals 0. X plus Y is greater than 0. A scale with meaningless, weightless things on both sides. However, it has weight itself and gives the rest meaning. Rock, paper, scissors is the most immediate method of randomly determining a winner and a loser. You usually bet some sort of privilege on the outcome, but kids often do rock, paper, scissors just to play, without betting anything in particular. Unless you bet something, nothing but a feeling of joy or disappointment will come from a win or a loss. In other words, the two sides of the scale, winning and losing, are both valueless. However, the very act of seeing which way it will tip is the reason kids play rock, paper, scissors. I thought about this. Yeah, I mean, she's just here. She said she's just here to have fun, to stave her boredom. After all, the kids are enjoying the communication that surrounds the game, and they aren't purely interested in the value of winning or losing. They aren't overly concerned about who wins and who loses.
それじゃベアトにとって非分殺人は成功してもしなくてもいいものってことになっちまう。まるでその過程そのものを楽しんでいるかのようにさえ思える。以前の俺なら無意味な殺人を繰り返す非道な魔女だと決めつけ、こいつを罵っただろうさ。
Well, I mean, isn't that the case?
今の俺にはそうとは思えない。
ありがとう。だから赤をもう一つ与えましょう。
Okay.
ベアトは快楽目的で殺人を行っていることはありません。
So she's not a sadist. She didn't do it for pleasure, and she didn't do it to make anyone feel fear. She has nothing to gain from the Epitaph murders, and she doesn't care whether they succeed or fail. It's almost like a random game kids would play.
違う。意味があるんだ。こいつには。
意味とは何ですか？
わからない。天秤の両端は無価値だ。こいつにとってこの天秤はしっかりと重みあるものなんだ。
Of course, it isn't meaningless. Some meaning definitely exists. In the previous games, she urged me to remember my sin of 6 years ago! There it fucking is! Was that meaningless too? No. There's no way that's the case. What is it? I clearly remember the serious look in her eyes at that moment. Unfortunately, I didn't have a clue what she was talking about, and she was devastated. That's right. At that time, I'm sure she even went so far as to say that the crime wouldn't have occurred if I hadn't come. If I hadn't come back? So could the crime be forgetting and then choosing to come back after it's all said and done?
意味はある。こいつにとっては意味が。
Okay, it's a meaning to her, but she herself wasn't, because I remember she said that it wasn't a sin against her.
そしてそれを俺に求めてる。
Is it a sin against himself? Could that be it? Hold on. I gotta read that shit again. There is a meaning to her, and she wants me to provide it. I laughed softly and poked Beato lightly on the head, then patted her head.
ラブレターには次からは好きですと短く書くことを勧めるぜ。あまり回りくどくて難解だと意味が伝わらねえぞ。こいつが何を考えてるのか。だが俺は考えることをやめないぜ。まだまだチェス盤をひっくり返せ。お前の思考をたどる旅を。
Battler did nothing but gaze lazily out the window. The fighting between the relatives continued without end. Yes, all the bickering. The shouting. Oh, this is it. If Battler doesn't bring up that he saw Ginzo outside, then Natsuki, Kraus, they're done for right now. At first, the relatives had crowded around the study. However, no matter how much they knocked, the master of the study did not answer even once. Ava and several others said that they should open the door with the second key, the one Genji held. However, in a flash of brilliance, Natsuki said that Ginzo had been in a particularly bad mood and had taken back the key he'd previously given Genji, meaning that he now had both keys himself. She claimed that it was therefore impossible for them to open the door. Wow. Okay. After she promised to let them meet Ginzo tomorrow morning, no matter what, they finally returned to the dining hall. But of course, the argument continued on even after they returned there. By the way, guys, it's raining in my it's raining again where I live. Hard as shit. It's gonna rain from now until fucking like 3 for like 10 hours straight. I love it. It's very dark outside and gloomy. Kurai. I love it. Ava's group wanted a lot of cash very soon, and they were trying to threaten Kraus somehow and make him pay up. Right. But they have the gold right there. They just gotta grab the gold. That's it. I mean, they all have money right now. Natsuki and Kraus, they both know the situation, just like I know the situation, like we know the situation. They don't have to act anymore. They could just say, okay, you know what, take, like throw like 10 ingots their way, and that's it. Apparently, Battler's solving of the epitaph, which threatened Krause's position as the next head, had given the others a huge tailwind. On the other side, Krause and Natsuki denied the very basis of their arguments, claiming that it had never been specified that ownership of the gold would be handed over to the person who solved the epitaph. They asserted that it hadn't been hidden gold, but just Ginzo's stockpile, and it was still Ginzo's property, which meant it was only natural for it to be distributed after Ginzo's death with the rest of the inheritance, so at the very least, they're still gonna get some. After hearing this, Ava's group once again started demanding that they be allowed to see Ginzo. It had probably been clear as day from the beginning. The sibling fight could only be settled by Ginzo. It was obvious that this confrontation was between Ava's group, which wanted cash fast, and Krause, who was hiding his lack of funds but still didn't need money right away. As Battler listened vaguely to this exchange, he marveled at how, despite their usual affluent airs, they were all surprisingly deep in debt.
それもさっき聞いた話ではないかも。もういい。休止しよう。お互い一度した話を延々と繰り返しているだけだ。
According to the clock, it was almost midnight. It certainly was a perfect time for a break. The atmosphere relaxed just a bit.
同感や。お互い一服するのも悪くないで。ほな以後は議事を取りながらにせんか。言った言わないはもうごめんや。
まったくだわ。下の根も乾かないうちにそんなことは言ってないなんて。平気で言い出す兄さんとの会議に議事録は必須だものね。文字じゃ書くのも手間だし、インチキだっていくらでもできるわ。
そうだね。兄貴、こいつは動くのか。オーディオセットかね。なるほど。それならば議事を手書きせずに済むし、捏造もできんね。互いにとって公平だ。
勝手にいじらないように。当主様の大切な音楽テープですよ。
The dignified tape set had a sense of weight to it, which matched the majestic dining hall perfectly. On pleasant Sunday mornings, it would sometimes be used to play famous tapes on records. However, right now, it was the most neutral and impartial conference record keeper around. Rudolph fished randomly around the cassette rack, searching for a blank tape. And every time he found some tape with sophisticated music, he would chuckle at how pompous it was. Ha! Pompous.
失礼します。お呼びでしょうか。
休憩することになったの。申し訳ないんだけど、何か飲み物を用意してもらえないかしら。ビスケットみたいなものがあってもいいかもね。
Ooh, biscuits.
かしこまりました。
Ooh, I want some.
すぐにご用意いたします。
あと、ごめんなさい。風邪薬あるかしら。さっきから熱っぽくて。
なら無理は良くないな。休みたまえ。
ローザがいいと思うなら好きに休めば。私ならこの大事な会議中に風邪くらいじゃ休まないけどね。
Right. I mean, you just witnessed a mountain of gold.
そうかね。私は遠慮なく休ませてもらうよ。夏日、私たちも少し休まないかね。
Motherfuckers. Okay. Sensing that he meant to have a strategy meeting, Natsuki stood up, even if it wasn't the case. She was so desperate to get out of the room, even for a moment, that she'd have taken any excuse. Krause and Natsuki left the dining hall, and the tension in the room truly relaxed. Oh boy. Oh boy.
バトラ君もお疲れ様。最悪の気分でしょ。大人の階段だと思って諦めて。
俺はいつまでここでボサーっとしてりゃいいんすかね。
さあ、バトラ君は私たちのおみこしだからね。眠い？
古典の授業程度には。
今夜はどうせお父さんは現れないでしょう。クラウス兄さんたちが戻ってきたら、バトラ君はもう戻っていいかと提案してみるわ。
よろしく頼むぜ。
A light knock, and the faint sound of china clinking together could be heard. Shannon!
お茶をお持ちいたしました。
My boy! Shannon and Kanon had come by with a serving cart. The pleasant smell of black tea relieved their tension with all the more. No, all the more.
話は聞いてるか？
何のお話でしょうか？
僕たちは何も。よしなさい、ルドルフ。教える必要は何もないわ。
Yeah, look, he's getting excited. He's just yapping.
親族会議のお話には関心ありません。そうね。それが賢い返事だわ。
深夜勤なの？大変ね。
そういうお役目ですので、ご用命いただけて嬉しいです。
そうかもしれんな。することもなくぼんやり起きてる方がしんどいもんや。わしも下積み時代に倉庫番とかやったことあるんやけどな。ただ起きてるだけでもこれがとにかく辛いんや。戦争直後はな、物資泥棒とかゾロゾロおってな。警察も頼れん時代でとにかく物騒でな。
Hideyoshi was particularly proud of how he had started with nothing and built up assets by diverting goods from the American army. Oh, once the subject came up, Hideyoshi tended to get pretty talkative. The relatives knew this and were greatly relieved to see that a perfect sacrifice had come up.
バレたら一大じゃ。アメさんは怖いで。
Those Yanks are scary.
からパワーも桁違いや。捕まったら最後銃殺刑かデスバイハンギングや。
Hanging?
わかるか？デスバイハンギング。
Damn, but old school as
いや
fuck.
それでな、わしは思うたんや。肉や、肉や。日本人はもっと肉を食わなあかん。そしてわしは胃袋をつかむ商売を始めなあかんという典型を受けたんや。
Okay, we're knowing more about Hideyoshi. I like fish. I've been eating nothing but fish for the past like 5 fucking days, dude.
それは大変なお仕事ですね。
I've eaten so much fucking tilapia. It's crazy.
よしなさいよ、あなた。戦後生まれにいくら話しても、当時の苦労なんか伝わらないわよ。
またわしの悪い癖が出てしもうたな。すまん。
あなたたちもお茶をしていきなさいよ。たまには自分たちがどういう紅茶を入れてるか、その下で学ぶのもいい勉強になると思うわ。
いえ、結構です。お気遣いなく。
少し付き合ってくれよ。大人ばかりで、俺も窒息しそうなんだ。
そら、次期当主のバトラ様のご命令だぞ。
There it is, bitch. There it
そこに
is.
座って、俺たちとしばらくお茶しろい。
Yes, I would like them.
最近の出来事とか趣味とか、見てるテレビとか、若者の今の流行りとか、そういう話をしやがれ。
Look, he's so excited. He don't give a fuck. He's so
俺たちの
sociable.
勉強になるからな。
So extra sociable. Because he's so excited, man. He don't care.
明暗ね。ほら、二人とも座って。そして話題に飢えた私たちの生贄になってちょうだい。
そうやな。
Sacrifices. They keep bringing up that word.
若い子と話をしよう思ったら、キャバクラでもいかんと、この年では難しいわ。
いつまでぼさっと突っ立ってんのよ。ルドルフが座れと命令したわ。座りなさいよ。私も許可してあげるわ。
After getting Ava's permission, Shannon and Kanon looked at each other and finally obeyed, nervously. For a while, the two were pounded by questions and became the relatives' playthings. Wow. Another reserved knock could be heard. All of the servants tended to knock in a similar manner, so no one noticed anything strange. However, Shannon and Kanon turned around with surprised looks on their faces. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Why would they be shocked? Unless the servants here today included the two of them, Genji, Kumasawa, and Goda. Goda had the midnight shift at the guest house. Kumasawa had gone to bed in the servants' quarters in the guest house, and they were in here. So Genji was the only person left. But they knew very well that Genji wouldn't knock like that.
誰だ
Bitch.
開いてるぜ勝手に入れよ
Rudolph didn't recognize the knock either. And when he asked, who is it? Everyone came to the same realization that they had no idea who would knock like that. After that, the same knock repeated just once more. Could it be that someone had their hands full and was asking that the door be opened for them? If that was the case, how could they knock? As a slightly odd feeling began to encompass the room, the sound of a large clock in the hall could be heard. Bitch, it was the sign that October 4th had ended and October 5th had begun. What does this mean? Who could... A short while earlier, Kraus and Natsuki were well away from the dining hall in a deserted corridor on the second floor. It's so dark, dude. It's so fucking dark.
もうそれしか手はないのかね
What, you're gonna come in and kill everyone?
はい。明日一日同じ手はもはや通用しないでしょう。これ以上を渋ればエヴァさんたちはお父様を監禁しているなどと主張して警察に訴える可能性さえあります。
Yeah, you got him locked up, bitch. He's in
これ
prison.
が限界です。バトラ君が黄金を発見するのが全く想定外でした。あれさえなければなんとかうまくやりくりできる筋書きを考えていたのですが。
私がかけるといつもこうだな。いつも想定外のことが起き絶対確実だった話がおかしくなる。
Dude, if that's how it is, then just stop.
明日の朝お父様の部屋が空っぽであるということにします。源氏と口裏を合わせ早朝に森へ出かけていくのを見たと言わせましょう。
その思想をエヴァたちが素直に受け入れるとは思えん。
百も承知です。しかしもうそれしか手がありません。
Wow. If Battler spoke up, they would have gotten a fucking free pass.
そのようなことをすればエヴァたちは疑わしいと騒ぎ立てるだろう。エヴァたちは金をせしめるためならなりふりなど構わない。それこそおかしな雑誌とつるんで私の信用にダメージを与えてくるかもしれない。
ダメージで済むではありませんか。毎日にもお父様の秘密を知られたらそれどころでは済みません。
明日一日をギリギリまで粘ってからでも遅くはない。もしも明日を無事に乗り切ることができれば私たちは何も失うものはないのだ。焦って失踪という切り札を切る必要はない。
彼らがお父様を監禁していると騒ぎ立てそこに失踪していたと返すのですか。その方がはるかに疑いを招きます。
The best bet they have is just saying it right
お
now.
父様にお休みいただきましょう。これ以上は無理です。
落ち着きたまえ。エヴァたちの毒気を浴びすぎて冷静を失っただけだ。あの書斎に入る鍵は2本しかない。そしてその2本はここに。君だから誰も入ることなどできん。あの扉は特別性だ。彼らが倉庫からどんな工具を持ってこようともびくともせんよ。
そういう物理的な問題ではありません。
だから焦るな。落ち着け。なんなら君は熱を出したことにして寝込んでいてくれればいい。その間に私が全て乗り切ってみせる。
あなただけに任せられません。私も最後まで戦います。
She is so loyal. When Natsuki could no longer hold back the tears brought on by her fierce emotions, Kraus held her gently. What? Just how long had it been since she'd last felt warmth from her husband's embrace?
頭痛がひどいのだろう。
This is the first time.
君がそういうシワを眉間に浮かべるときはいつもそうだ。
あなた
She had come to think that her husband could never understand the way she felt. But when it came to times like this,
失踪という切り札は最後の最後まで待とう。殿下の報道と同じだよ。抜かないうちが花だ。大事なのはいつでも抜けるという心構えではないかね。
それは分かっています。
その切り札を私に預けてくれんかね。もちろん最後の瞬間の責任は全て私が取る。君とジェシカは巻き込まん。
それはどういう意味ですか？
後宮家が滅ぶ時、その瓦礫に潰されるのは私だけで十分だ。台風が過ぎたら離婚届を準備し、
What?
それに捺印し君に預けておく。内緒で君の名義にしてある財産もある。さらにそれに慰謝料を加えれば君とジェシカは不自由なく暮らせるはずだ。
嫌です。私の墓碑に刻むべき名は後宮夏日です。どうか最後の瞬間までご一緒に。たとえあなたが後宮家最後の当主であろうとも、夏日を最後までどうか当主夫人であなたの妻でいさせてください。
Wow, man. I think this is the first time we're seeing genuine tenderness. Krause's existence was based solely upon the power of his assets and his trustworthiness as a financial fixer. If those were both undermined, nothing would remain. Using the trump card of Ginzo's disappearance would mean losing one of these two essential supports. It was like offering your right arm to save your head from being cut off. It was probably better than losing your head, but you still might die from the blood loss. And even on the off chance that you did survive, you would have to bear a heavy wound that wouldn't heal for the rest of your life. Krause was prepared even for death. Natsuki understood this, buried her face in Krause's chest, and cried. Genji's sudden voice made Natsuki jump back and hurriedly wipe the tears from her eyes. Krause stood in front of Natsuki, shielding her.
源氏さんか。驚かせないでくれたまえ。何か用かね。
はい。申し訳ございませんが、奥様にご報告が。
私にですか？
Wait a minute, is it that fucker?
あなた。
構わんよ。
Is it that the 19-year-old fucker? Is he here? Krause left Natsuki's side, went to a window a short way off, and gazed at the windy and rainy rose garden. Dude, ooh, it's raining here and it's so dark outside. I love it. It's actually, where I live, it's actually a little bit brighter than it is here, but Natsuki went with Genji to a place a short distance away.
何事ですか？
はい。
It's so I don't know, dude, when it's raining, I don't know about you guys, but when it's raining, it's like your house gets 30% more comfortable.
実はまた奥様にお電話
Bitch. Yo, at that moment, she was surprised by a sudden eerie sound. It was the large clock in the hall announcing midnight.
まさかまたあの男なのですか？
はい。
Dude, how many unprecedented things are gonna happen?
いたしましょう。
要件は何だと言っていますか？
お答えいただけません。奥様と直接お話ししたいとの一点張りでございます。
Wow. Is she gonna let Krause know? Again, a phone call from the man who claimed to be taking revenge for what had happened 19 years ago. 19 years ago. That was just 1 year before Jessica and Battler were born. In Natsuki's eyes, the gap between 19 years ago and 18 years ago was immense. For a long time, she wasn't able to fulfill her role of creating a successor for the Ushiromiya family and was treated very coldly. But then, she finally gave birth to Jessica and became able to call herself the wife to the Ushiromiya successor with her head head held high. So, in her eyes, Ushiromiya Natsuki began 18 years ago. So everything before that, including 19 years ago, contained nothing more but hateful memories. The last year of that hateful period was whispering of revenge from the other end of the phone. Once again, she heard the roar of the sea. So the phone call is from someone on the island or close to the
いかが
ocean.
なさいますか。
私の部屋に転送しなさい。主人には内密に。
Why hide
かし
it?
こまりました。
Well, he might freak out even more. From the very beginning, Genji had understood that she wouldn't want Kraus hearing about this phone call. That was why she had told Natsuki covertly. Natsuki ordered that he transfer the call, told Kraus that she would turn in for the night, and left at a quick pace. Bitch, I love this song too, Stupefaction. That shit is so good. She returned to her room and locked the door. There's nothing peculiar about that. In the Ushiromiya family, hallways are like public roads. There's no special meaning in locking the door when you enter your own room. This is what she told herself. Then, as though he had been waiting for her, the telephone rang. Genji must have transferred the call. She took a deep breath, readied herself, and picked up the receiver.
もしもし。
She just has a picture of a fucking vase. Again, it started with silence. She realized that the person at the other end was trying to keep her in suspense and make her feel uncomfortable, and she got
ど
angry.
うして黙っているのですか。切ります。
切るなよ、母さん。もう少し声を聞いていたいんだからさ。
Again, that unpleasant voice.
私を愚弄する気ですか。要件を追いなさい。
母さんと遊びたい。
何を言っているんですか、あなたは。私はあなたとなど遊びたくありません。
Define play.
親族会議で疲れた。持病の頭痛がだいぶ辛いんだよ。
How did this motherfucker know all this shit?
余計なお
Is he
世話で。
stalking her? Just the fact that he knew her headache was troubling her made a shiver run up her spine. So he has to be nearby, right?
頭痛になるのは頭が凝っているから。そのままベッドに入ったっていい夢は見られないよ。
だから余計なお世話だと言っています。切りますよ。
Natsuki forcefully yelled that she was hanging up, but in actuality, she couldn't. After all, this person was choosing to call her, and that was much better than the alternative. If she hung up violently, this person might choose to call someone else.
頭の
Kraus?
ためにちょっとだけ遊ぼうよ。気がまとらない。
あなたと遊ぶ気などありません。
母さんの名前はナツ。名前に季節をつける。いい名前だ。でもナッチだからって夏が好きとは限らない。
Yeah, I was gonna say Natsu. So what season? So like summer?
母さんが本当に好きな季節はなんだ。
それをあなたに教えると思いますか。
Yeah, why would she say that right now?
くれないなら俺が決める。
Then hang up, bitch. It was clearly a threat. It meant that if she forced him to hang up the phone, anything might happen. Anything. Humiliated that she was forced to give in to a threat made by a man whose name she didn't even know, she gave him the answer he wanted. Ugh. Nasty.
秋です。
I like autumn too.
どう
過ごしやすい季節だからです。
I like it because it's pretty.
他に特に理由はありません。
It reminds me of Spice and Wolf, that's why.
これで満足ですか。
ああ、満足だ。やっぱり母さんの季節は俺と同じだ。俺も
That's because she's your mother. Look Look at this motherfucker cracking up.
嘘つき出任せを言うんじゃありません。
This man would no doubt have done the same thing no matter which season I said I liked. What is he after? What's so fun about making me uncomfortable like this?
嘘つきなんてひどい。出任せなんてない。俺は母さんが秋が好きだって確信してたの。証拠。
証拠？
ああ、母さんの部屋に時計はある。
時計？ええ、ありますが、それが何か。
In Natsuki's room, there was a beautiful antique clock with an intricate design. Kraus had bought it for her as a birthday present long
今
ago.
は0時7分です。もう眠いので茶番を早く終わらせなさい。
その時計持ち上げてみてよ。
どうしてです？
You're gonna talk like that to your own mother?
俺の言うことにお前は黙って言われたと。
He's getting pissed. The tone of the man's voice suddenly went low, turning into a threat. It indicated clear displeasure. Right, he's upset, he's getting angry, he's getting pissed. Outwardly, this man had a calm manner of speaking, but on the inside, things were completely different. I can tell he's feeling pissed inside. If she angered this man even the slightest bit further, he will surely show his true nature right away. He will start screaming, he'll start cussing at her, he's gonna say some shit. What the fuck? What is he talking about? He keeps threatening her every other sentence.
あなたが何の話をしているか知りませんが、夫や娘を巻き込まないでください。こうして私が電話を聞いていますから。
Then do what you're goddamn told. Oh, I thought I was supposed to read that. Never mind, I heard him say that. Once again, the man threatened me in a low voice, as though warning me never to talk back to him again. My head was filled with the pain from my headache, the sound of my beating heart, and the roar of the sea. I couldn't disobey him anymore. As the man had ordered, I lifted up the antique clock. There lay something that resembled a single playing card. What? Perhaps it was the warranty for the clock. Thinking this, she took it and turned it over. Let me guess, it's a picture of her. What? I don't want to see my girl tortured like this. I love her. I don't want to see her cry. And we're fucking close up. We're showing a close-up of her crying. I don't want to see that. What wounds? Is he talking about her tears? What is he talking about? Who is this? Natsu had never had anything so hateful said to her in her entire life. So she suspected many times that she must be having some sort of a bad dream. However, this definitely wasn't a dream.
島にいるのですか？
うん。約束しただろう。金属回避は出る。
不可能です。この台風では来られるわけもありません。
台風になる前から来てれば問題はないよ。それに台風の最中であっても。
Her blood froze. Furudo Erika had been brought here by coincidence. If I knew that name, if he knew that name, he would have to be very close by.
あなたは
Or they're connected.
どこに？
あんたの紹介はないよ。誰の前にも現れない。安心しろ。おっと、俺を探しても無駄だよ。あんたの屋敷は広い。電話だってそこいら中にあるしな。あんただって俺に会いたくないだろ。それとも俺を見つけ出してみんなに紹介してくれるのか。ジェシカにも紹介してくれよ。一つ何です
やめて！ジェシカに構わないで！
怖がらせすぎた。
Who exactly? I don't.
今夜はこれで勘弁してやるよ。だがあんたの上に逆らえ。分かってるな。
Okay, so she had a child 1 year before Jessica? No, but she would have known Kraus by then.
今夜はこれで電話を切るが、明日の朝まで命令がある。
何ですか？
あんたは今夜もうその部屋を出てはならないし、どこにも電話をかけてはならない。電話がかかってきても取ることも許さねえぜ。そして今すぐ明かりを消し、布団をかぶ
Who
る。
the fuck are you to tell me to do anything?
そしていつもの時間に起床し。
Look at this motherfucker cracking himself up. He's evil, just like Erica.
健康的な生活でいいな。母さんの体をいたわるなんて。本当に俺は親孝行者だ。
わかりました。今すぐ寝ます。部屋も出ません。電話も出ません。だから夫と娘には。
母さんが俺の命令を守る限り、あんたの秘密は守って命令をやめ。俺はもうお前のすぐ近くにいる。
Oh,
部
oh.
屋の明かりが消えるか、そして電話をしているかどうか。
He's that close by? Either that or he's right outside.
俺さ、あんたの寝顔に季節。
Wait a motherfucking minute. Is he in this very room?
守ります。約束は守ります。だからやめて。
Is he in the closet?
やめて。
Pull out a knife, girl. Pull out a knife! As she screamed, Nazi crushed the card she had found under the clock into a little ball. It had a pattern on it like a tarot card, along with one single word. Autumn. No fucking way. I guess he really did show proof. But how would he have... Wait, so does that question mean more than we thought? This is what I'm thinking right now. Why would he ask that question and have his fucking... that card there? Unless that question probably means more than I think it does right now. Maybe that's when he was born. Maybe that's when this, when she did whatever the fuck against him to make him hate her so much. That's when she did it in autumn. I don't know. We got back in time. We go back in time once again. The large clock in the hall was right in the middle of striking midnight. And then that fucker who was knocking on the door, wondering who the person who had knocked twice was. The relatives in the dining hall stared at the door. Rudolph told them to come in, but there was no answer. Until the end of that long tone marking the tone coming of midnight, which had come from the large clock in the hall shortly after the knock. They were unable to move in the slightest.
手が塞がってて開けられないんじゃないのか。
かもな。だが名乗らねえってのが薄気味悪いな。
They won't announce themselves. They won't even speak.
開けますか。
開けなさい。
Kind of nodded back, and then slowly opened the door. Who the fuck is it gonna be?
それは。
これは親父の封筒？
They opened the door. Nobody was there but an envelope on the floor? Right behind the open door, on the floor, that's exactly as I said, on the floor in the hallway, lay the envelope.
廊下には誰もいません。これを置いて立ち去ったのでしょうか。
If only we rushed when we heard the knock, we could have seen who the fuck was there. The adults flew out into the corridor as well, but they could find no trace of anyone who might have knocked on the door. Barely an hour ago, Shannon and Kanon had come in to serve tea. Oh, okay, so it's like 1 a.m., close to it? At that time, everyone had seen that nothing lay in that spot. Someone came, knocked, left an envelope with the mark of the one-winged eagle on it, and left.
まさか親方様でしょうか。
考えられない話じゃないわ。この屋敷で誰と呼ばれて返事をしないのはお父様くらいだもの。
ありえないわ。ならどうしてお父様は堂々と入ってこないの？
I mean, he left an envelope. Only the head can leave an envelope stamped like that.
お父さんだったらノックなどせずいきなり入ってくるやろな。
I mean, it is his fucking house after
今こ
all.
の屋敷は戸締まりがされとるんやろ。ならここに手紙を置くことができるのはクラウスさんか夏井さん、そして源氏さんの誰かしか考えられんで。
By this point, the mansion had been completely locked up. Therefore, those in the guest house, the cousins, Nanjo, Godan, Gomasawa, and Erika, could not have come here. Furthermore, since Kraus, Natsuki, and Genji were the only three who weren't in this room, one of those three had to have been the one who set that letter down in the corridor. In that case, it was very likely that Kraus and the others had placed the letter there to make it seem like a message from Ginzo. Yes, that's what I was thinking. If we're gonna solve these, no magic involved, then it's very obvious.
お父様の名を語ってバトラ君を次期当主に認めないみたいなことが書いてあるのよ。バカバカしい兄さん、よくこんな子供騙しを。
別に俺は次期当主なんて興味ねえぞ。
諦めろ。それがお前の運命なんだよ。とにかく中身を読んでみようぜ。
Yes, let's take a look. Rudolph set the letter on the dining hall table and showed everyone the front and back. Held it up, bitch. Show me. Okay, almost like a magician does before performing his act to show that there are no tricks or hidden
こ
mechanisms.
の封筒は間違いなくお父様の封筒なの？
I mean, it has the stamp, right?
ええ
He does with his ring,
間違いない。
the red wax.
紳士に好んで使う封筒。どうシャノンちゃん。
私の目にも親方様が使われる封筒に見えます。
There we go.
だからってお父様が書いたってことにはならないわよ。兄さんならお父様の書斎の引き出しからひょいと手に入れることなんて造作もない話だわ。
You're right.
クラウス様って容易に書斎には入れません。封筒を盗み出すなど難しいこと。
Hard, but not
開けてみ
impossible.
ようぜ。それから考えても遅くないはずだ。何か入ってる。
Yeah, what about, are they gonna bring up the fact that, again, it has the red wax and only Kinzo has the ring to do the little imprint thing on it? Rudolph opened the envelope and bit roughly. Then a folded letter, and a glittering object fell out. It was a ring! There it is.
ちょっとその指輪。
Ava noticed it immediately and grabbed it.
お父様の指輪よ。当主の指輪だわ。
There it is, bitch! If it says it, if it fucking says it, then that's it, bitch.
間違いなくお父様の指輪なの。 レプリカということも。これは本物よ。私はいつかこの指輪を自分の指に通してやると。
Oh yeah, I know about that. Put it on, fuck it.
指にしてた時から私は誰よりもこの指輪のことをよく知ってるわ。これはお父様の指輪よ、間違いなく。どうしてここに？
じゃあやっぱりこの手紙はお父様。
Well, we just gotta see what it says then.
差出人は親父じゃねえぞ。
Oh.
もっと面白い。
じゃあ誰からの手紙だったの？
Beatrice.
後ろ宮家顧問錬金術師黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェ様からだぜ。
Okay. Rudolph showed everyone the part of the letter where that was written. It really did say that.
ベアトリーチェから？
なんて書いてある？
読むぞ。コングラッチュレーションズ。バトラ様が碑文の謎を見事に解かれ黄金鏡にたどり着きましたことを認めます。黄金はすべてバトラ様のものです。
There it is, bitch. It's in writing.
そして後ろ宮家の新しき教
There it is, cut and fucking dry. It is in writing. It is stated, bitch. They had the ring for fucking proof. They sent the fucking ring.
金蔵様よりお預かりしている当主の指輪をお送りします。
There it is. Nobody can argue with that.
バトラ様、指輪をされて新しい黄金の主となり、どうか後ろ宮家をお導きください。
There it is. Period. End of motherfucking discussion. Damn.
新しき当主のご活躍を心よりお祈りいたしております。
Well, I mean, that's it. That's it, bitch. Just pack up. That's it.
なんてこった。親父が書斎から出てこねえもんだから。森の魔女ベアトリーチが直接バトラを認めてくれたわけだ。
But are they gonna accept? Because I can't forget what the purpose of all this is. Are they gonna accept that magic?
バトラー、この指輪はあなたが持つの。当主が身につけるべきベアトリーチェが何者か知らないけれど、彼女は一部始終を見届け、あなたが真の跡継ぎだと認めてこの指輪を送ったのよ。
いいんすか、この重要な指輪は。
ああ、いいんだ。誇らしげに指にはめるといい。
Yeah, put it on, my
いい
boy.
が、兄貴や夏日さんが外せと言っても絶対に外すんじゃねえぞ。
That's right, my boy. Shit. With creepy smiles on their faces, all of the relatives urged Battler to put on the ring on his finger. It looked like this thing would get pretty nasty if he refused. So Battler reluctantly decided to put it on in the middle finger on his left hand. Really, in the middle finger? Not his ring finger? The ring was heavy and stiff. Ow. Oh, at that moment, Cross returned. Genji came back as well immediately
申
afterwards.
し訳ない。妻は具合が悪そうだったので先に休ませ。
Yo, this is not gonna go well.
何かあったのかね。
This is not
なん
gonna
だ
go
か諸
well.
君がひどく慌ただしい。
Bitch, everybody charged up!
バトラ様、それは。
Immediately, Genji keenly spotted the thing that Battle had just put on his finger.
さすが源氏さんや。
That's right,
これが誰の
bitch.
指輪かわかる
Shit.
ようやな。
何の話だ。
From Krause's questioning look, it was very difficult to imagine that he could have been the one who set that letter there. Yo, what is this gonna say? What is Krause and Nazi gonna think of this? Because obviously they know that Ginzo is dead. However, dude, they will freak out. Like somebody knows things that they know that everyone else doesn't know. Furthermore, his expression quickly changed into one of shock.
そうよ、後ろ宮家当主の指輪よ。
The family conference took up this new topic, and the storm came once again. Hold on. Oh. The rain was still pouring down, as hard as ever. This weather was supposed to continue all day tomorrow as well, which was making me feel a bit depressed. Oh wait, Given the time, that's today, not tomorrow. But that doesn't really matter now. I'm sleepy. With half asleep eyes, I opened my umbrella. The large drops of rain pounded against it mercilessly. Technically, they had called an end to the family conference at 1 a.m. But the post-match scuffles were still dragging on. I was really jealous of Auntie Rosa, who managed to slip out of there at the time. She cleverly got away by saying that she'd check on Maria, who might have been staying up too late. Thanks to Dad constantly involving me, I missed my chance to escape. And they made me stick around until now, 3 a.m. Ugh. What on earth did they spend all that time deciding? Nothing got decided at all. That's what I was gonna say. They probably didn't decide anything. They probably never came to an agreement. They just argued. They just thought they could argue their opinion into the other person. They just kept on arguing about who said what, like elementary school kids. Yes. They must be tired too. It's just brainless fighting. It's just dumb fighting. I'm sure that's why they keep dragging on with the same pointless questions. I no longer felt any shock or anger towards them. I guess no painkiller works better than drowsiness. I left them behind and finally returned to the guest house. The guest house always had an entrance like that. I think that's my first time seeing it. When I returned to the guest house, the lights were on in the lounge downstairs. Not only that, I could even hear people chatting inside. Apparently, some people were still awake even at this time of night. At 3 fucking a.m.? Despite the late hour, Golda-san and Dr. Nanjo were still awake and chatting. Plates and cups were lined up on the counter. And it looked almost like a bar with Golda-san as the bartender. Yes, I was gonna say, it's a bar down here, back here. After noticing I'd come back, it looked as though Dr. Nanjo finally realized how late it was. As Golda-san made to top off his glass, he declined with an exaggerated gesture.
もう結構です。この時間では夜更かしのしすぎだ。
もうこんな時間とは。南條先生があまりにお話がお上手なもので、ついつい。
それを言ったらあんたの酒の魚のおかげだ。また別の機会に一杯やりましょう。
喜んで。バトラー様、お帰りなさいませ。まだ旦那様方の会議は続いておりますか？
あの調子でぐだぐだと明け方までやるんだろうぜ。知ったことじゃねえぜ。
I spoke carelessly with a big yawn.
皆さん。
Oh, she's still awake?
体力が終わりですね。びっくりです。
なんだ。お前まで言ったのか。
なんとなく流れでこちらでささやかな夜会が始まったもので混ぜてもらっていました。例のことは話してませんのでご安心を。
Erica could be seen on the sofa. She had taken her shoes off and was lounging around as though she owned the place.
エリカ様も本当にいろいろなお話をご存知で、とても楽しく聞かせていただきました。
あんたは本当に博識だ。若いのに大したもんだよ。
どういたしまして。フルドエリカはこの程度には博識ですので。
Erica posed by picking up the hem of her skirt. She was lounging on the sofa with her feet up, so it didn't look remotely elegant.
ローザおばさん。
午前の1時頃にお戻りになりましたが、すぐに上がられ、お休みになられました。
That was probably the right choice. She'd been going along with that conference for so long. I feel like flopping down in bed right away myself. I've had it. I'm tired enough that I might flop over right here.
さあ、私たちもこれくらいにしましょう。ゴーダさんも明日の朝食の準備で朝が早いのでしょう。
朝食の仕込みはすでに済んでおります。
I was gonna say, it's 3 fucking a.m.
どうぞ明日の朝食も大いにご期待いただければ幸いです。
In Golda's eyes, the family conference is an open stage on which to display his culinary skills. He's probably so pumped that he won't even get sleepy. As she laughed at how youthful Golda was, Erica stood up. This acted as the sign that it was time to disperse.
お片付けは私の方でしておきます。どうぞ皆様はお休みを。
Leaving the cleanup to go that time, I went to the bathroom and then climbed the stairs to the second floor.
それでは皆さんおやすみなさい。老骨にはちっと夜更かしが過ぎましたな。
おやすみなさい、南條先生。おやすみなさい、バトラさん。
おう。おやすみ。
Then, in the upstairs hallway, we split up. Dr. Nanjo went to his own room. Erica went to her room. And I returned to the cousin's room. And that's it. I couldn't hear any sounds of playing coming from the cousin's room. Could they have already gone to sleep? No surprise at this time of night. If they were still playing, they would have been staying up way too late. When I opened the door quietly, as expected, the room was already pitch black except for a small nightlight. Everyone was already sleeping in their beds. I bet they all had a great time horsing around. They probably had a ton of fun staying up late and talking about their youth. If only I hadn't found the gold, I could have had fun spending time with them. I'm already tired. So tired. Forgetting even to change my clothes or brush my teeth, I crawled into bed and immediately started to sink into the marshes of sleep. Today's been so insane. I wonder if that old bastard is still in that family conference now. How does he not get tired? Come to think of it, what was it that old bastard said when we parted company?
明日家族で重要な話がしてお前に関わることだ。
I'm sure it's more stuff about being the successor. I don't even want to hear about it. That's what I thought immediately, but now I'm thinking maybe it's something else.
こいつを話せば俺は殺されるだろうな。
Oh my god. Wait a minute. Is there more going on about here? Because wait a minute, I don't know if does Rudolph know more than he's letting on than we know? Because this is the second time he said this. I probably should have fucking looked into it more, because when he said that first, obviously he's being killed by witches, right? By magic. I don't think he obviously doesn't does he know what is going on here exactly? I'll murder you whenever you want, you old bastard. And then, what was it he said next?
お前の生まれについての話だ。
Right. My birth. His mom isn't Asumu, right? We had that. We know that because of Beatrice. She said that to try to break my boy. Probably just something about the noble Ushiromiya lineage. Not interested. Just let me sleep. I'm starting to think that there's maybe a little bit more to Rudolph and the murders going on than they let on. Because we were talking about the murders earlier with Battler talking to Beatrice about how the murders mean absolutely nothing to her. They could go on, right? The murders can occur or they don't occur, and it means nothing to her either way. Now then, Rudolph just brought up the murder. He brought up the fact that he could die tonight. He'll get murdered tonight. And that's making me think, maybe there's more to it. There's more going on than they're letting on. Maybe the murders really are not supernatural. They are fully explainable by, like they're occurring. Fuck, that shit got me confused, right? That shit's making me think. Because again, Rudolph brought it up at the very beginning, episode 1. That's the first thing, that's the last thing he ever said. I'm probably gonna get murdered tonight. Why would he ever say that? Why would he ever think about that? From what possible thing could he have known that would make him believe that? Because he doesn't believe in magic. He doesn't know about any of this shit. I think, if I'm remembering right, the beginning of episode 5, it started with... No, Rudolph was still alive. He was still alive, right? Because we saw Erika point the finger at Natsuki and say, ultimately, Natsuki is the killer. She's the suspect. Fuck. So I don't think my boy Kraus is, Rudolph is gonna die. I think, at least as far as I know, up until then, he's not gonna die, I think. Hey, I got a lot to do. Got a lot of thinking to do.